Morning.
Morning.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good morning, everybody.
Here's Master ready to go.
I am ready to go. Or better or worse.
It'll be better.
In sickness and in health, I am ready to go.
It will be better. It will be better.
Yeah, thank you.
No reason for worse. At least I can't think of one.
Thanks.
Here's Jonas Actor, who will be taking over in 15 minutes. No.
It might not be 15 minutes, but it'll be close.
Nah. Here's Mitch Lucan. We can see his left shoulder. Oh, and here's Andy. Look at that. We're just assembling amazingly.
Mike, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay. Then I will mute for now.
Where is young Al?
Al is getting ready
I see.
in another room.
We both have dressing rooms for these performances.
No. Here it comes.
Some of us need to spend time in makeup reducing the shine on our foreheads.
I can't help it, Andy. It's just got no hair.
Good morning. On that note, Shabbat Shalom to everyone.
There you go. See, look, Rhoda has hair there, but I don't have hair there.
Good morning, Rhoda. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today,
I'm doing
Martha?
great. Doing great.
I guess
Hi,
I should
Nancy.
take
Hi,
some
Nancy.
guidance from our president, because he apparently knows how to make up his face for the.
Nancy, I wanted to tell you that based
Mike,
on
how are you?
when Peter said to read My Father's Paradise based on your recommendation, I got the book and I cannot put it down.
Isn't it wonderful?
Oh my gosh. Why did I not know about this book before? I'm almost done with it. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great book. It really, I've read it a couple of times. I actually did it as a study with the teachers at Schlenker, and it was just so wonderful. It's a great book. It taught
On
me
so many dimensions. The Aramaic is one of the many reasons it is such an interesting book.
It absolutely is. I agree.
So thank you for recommending that to Peter, so he would recommend it to the group, and Al's ordered it, so you know, a whole ripple effect.
Oh, good. Okay. Your book wasn't enough. Your copy wasn't enough for Al.
It's on a Kindle, and he doesn't read from a Kindle. So.
Hi, Shelley. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, Micah.
Shabbat Shalom. Martin.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hey, Nancy, you're kind of faint. Your volume is not quite good.
Better? Is that better?
A little bit better, yeah.
All right, let me see if I can make the microphone louder.
Andy, how's the door? What's the Dora report for today, for this week?
Well, this week has not been a good week. Dora is back in the hospital.
Oh, no.
She had another set of surgeries on Wednesday. And in these surgeries, the doctors say they corrected 3 particular problems. And in one of those, instead of the nasal feeding tube, they put in a feeding port to her stomach, because she'd gotten to a point where she was just pulling the tube out of her nose. And that's, kept having trips to the emergency room for replacement. And so now the doctors have corrected a second diaphragmatic hernia, and they've also done something with her.
Rabbi Teller, I have regards for you.
Still there, Rabbi.
From who, Lynn?
Kimberly Du Bois, who's now in Austin.
What's that?
Kimberly.
Kimberly, oh yeah. Yeah, we're still in touch, yeah.
And I suggested she talk to you and Cantor Levine together.
Yeah.
She wants to go to rabbinical school.
I
You-
know.
Another Bris Shalom prodigy. What's
I
with us? We
know.
keep producing chazanim, we keep producing rabbis. There's something about us.
Beautiful.
Kimberly Du Bois, who's now in Austin.
Yeah, she's in Austin and considering, she's gonna apply to the UJ and JTS and see how it goes.
Here, the Kagan's on.
Okay, live on Wowza. Give me another second for YouTube.
She wants to go to rabbinical school. Rabbi Teller,
Yep.
can you hook her up with Jason, Ariel's husband?
Great idea, yeah.
There you go.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Shabbat
Hey,
shalom.
Newman, how are you?
Oh,
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling well, thank you. At nighttime, I sleep like a pirate with a patch in my eye. But thank God we have a great cousin who's a great ophthalmologist and eye drops and all that stuff. So eye makeup I may not use for a while, so I won't know who I am.
wait a minute, you can't be sick again. I'm sorry, you've had your limit. You're done. You have to be well.
That's
Soon.
okay by me.
All right, and we're live, Rabbi.
Boker Tov, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to everybody on the Zoom call here. Thank you to our guy Zoom by Mike for leading us through. And welcome to everybody on the Wowza and YouTube stream who are here early in the morning for Tukei Zimra. And we'll be welcoming people along the way, I'm sure. We begin with Birkot HaShachar on page 65, and Marsha's going to take us through.
Please rise. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech mivinacha le'achim ben yom u'ben layla. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzamohu. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, mabish arumim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokaretz al hamayim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa lekol tzorkihim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechim mitzalei kafeh. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oster Yisrael mikuracha. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael v'tifaracha. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, anoten la'yet koach. Utenenu hayom v'chol yom lachenu chesed u'rachamim v'necha v'nechoroenu v'tigmalenu chasadim tovim Baruch Adonai omeh chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael.
Okay.
Ashreinu ma tov chelkeinu u'manayim, u'manayim guraleinu ma yafa yerushateinu. Ashreinu she'anoknu mashkimim, u'marivim erev haboker, me'omrim pamayim b'chol yom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad.
67.
Kadesh et Shema Makdish Shemecha, Kadesh et Shema B'Olamecha, U'Vishuatecha Tarim V'Edad B'Yakarneinu, Baruch Adonai, Mekadesh et Shema B'Rabim. Page 72. Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh, Shebo Yavim Omrim B'Beit HaMikdash, Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat.
How great and vast and diverse are your works, Adonai. How deep is your wisdom.
Od Yenavam B'Sevahan, Sheni V'Rananim Yiyu, Le'akid Ki Asher Adonai, Suri V'Lam. Page 81. Mizmor Shir Chanukah Habayit LeDavid.
God's anger lasts temporarily and momentarily. Ba'erev yalein bechi, at night we cry. Lavokarina, by morning we're okay.
Faktumis Badila Macholihi, Pitakasaki Vadias Resim Chacha, Lahamaya Zamercha, Chabod Veloidom, Adonai Elohai Leolam Odeka. Page 82, Mourner's Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yomad Yivrak Yerukei Yamlich Malchukei Uvachayei Chon Uvimai Chon Uvachayei V'chayei Yisrael Bagalav Yisrael Karim Yimru Amen.
Amen. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמנו.
Yitzharak v'yishbak Yitzharak Shemav Yitnaseh Tetar Yitzharak Kudsha
בריחו.
אלא מן כל משפחתה ונחמתה.
אמן.
יש רבה מן שמיים עלינו ועל ישראל.
אמן.
שלום יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
אמן.
Page 83, please rise. Maharosh Amar Vayalahar, Maharosh Oseh Bereshit, Maharosh Oseh Rum Kayaham, Maharosh Merachem Al Briohot, Maharosh Chai V'Kayam L'Netzach, Baruch Hu Deu Matzil, Baruch Shemo. Yachid Chai Olamim Mel Meshubahum For Adei Shemo Gadol Baruch Adonai Melech Mechulav Tishbachu. Please turn to page 92 and please join us for Ki Le'olam Chasto. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasdo. Hodu l'Elohei ha'Elohim, ki le'olam chasdo.
Hodu l'Adonai ha'adonim,
Ki le'olam chasdo.
Yosei nifla'o gedolot levado,
Ki le'olam chasdo. Le'osei hashemayim bifuna. Ki le'olam chasdo. Le'rokah haaretz al hamayim. Ki le'olam chasdo.
Yosei orim gedolim,
Ki le'olam chasdo.
Hashem Shalom Shalet Bayom,
Ki le'olam chasdo. V'tayareh v'chochavim לממשלות בלילה. כי לעולם חסדו למכי מצרים בבחוריכם. כי לעולם חסדו
יוצא ישראל מתוכם,
כי לעולם חסדו
ביד חזקה ובזרוע נטויה,
כי לעולם חסדו לגוזר ים סוף לגזרים. כי לעולם חסדו והעביר ישראל בתוכו. כי לעולם חסדו
ניער פרעה וחילו בים סוף,
כי לעולם חסדו
למוליך עמו במדבר,
כי לעולם חסדו למכי מלאכים גדולים. כי לעולם חסדו ויהרוג מלאכים אדירים. כי לעולם חסדו
וסיחון מלך האמורי,
כי לעולם חסדו
לעוד מלך הבשן,
כי לעולם חסדו ונתן ארצם לנחלה. כי לעולם חסדו נחלה לישראל עבדו. כי לעולם חסדו
שבשיפלנו זכר לנו,
כי לעולם חסדו
ויפרקנו מצרינו,
כי לעולם חסדו נותן לחם לכל בשר. כי לעולם חסדו הודו לאל השמיים. כי לעולם חסדו. Page 96. אשרי בביתך עוד יעלוך סלה. תהילת אדוני ידבר פיי, יברך כל אשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. אנחנו נברך יחד מעתה ועד עולם. Hallelujah. Page 100. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah,
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah, b'kodsho. Hallelujah, hallelujah, b'kiraso. Hallelujah, 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 b'gvurotah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, k'rod lo. Hallelujah, 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 b'teka shofar. Hallelujah, hallelujah, b'naval v'chinor. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
hallelujah,
hallelujah, b'tzil tzilei truah, kol hanshama tehalelia, kol hanshama tehalelia, kol hanshama tehalelia, hallelujah, kol hanshama tehalelia, hallelujah. Page 102. Yahweh Yisrael Elayam Akedunacha Asher Asa Adonai b'Mitzrayim Vayruan et Adonai Elaminu b'Adonai u'Moshe avtuhu As Yashir Moshe u'Bnei Yisrael et Ashir hazot l'Adonai vayomru le'mor Ashir Adonai ki ga'oga sus terofo rama vayam Ozi v'zimrat yav v'yichlil lishua Zeli v'yanvehu Elohei avivarom amehu Adonai ish milchama Adonai shemo Markevot paro V'chelo yaravayam Umivchar shalishav Tubahu v'yam suf Tehomot yechasru Yardu v'insolot kemo aven Adonai yimloch leolam vaed Adonai yimloch leolam vaed Ki Adonai meluchacha u'moshel b'goyim V'halu Moshe b'artziuchon lishpot el ha'aretz Adonai meluchacha v'chay Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom ahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Page 104. Nishmat kol chai tevarech et shema Adonai Eloheinu. Nechalecha u'nshabechacha u'nfaercha u'nvarech et shehem kodshecha k'mor leDavid marhi nafshi et Adonai ve'hoker afa et shehem kodshohu Ha'am ta'atzmot u'zechadakol mikvot shemecha ha'gibor l'netzach ha'nora b'norotecha ha'melech ha'yoshechev al kisei ram v'nisav.
Yasher kochech, yasher kochech. Well, I'm going to say Shechianu. I'm ready to do that. You ready to do it? I'll do it, and you feel free to join me if you'd like. You ready? Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu l'zman hazeh.
Way to go, Marcia.
Making me cry.
Way to
Thank
go,
you.
Marcia.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pure joy.
No, you were really good. I am very impressed.
We continue in the middle, page 105.
בקרב קדושים תתקדש, ומקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל. ונתבע שמך מקינו בכל דור ודור, שכן חובת כל היצורים, לפניך נעלנו אלוהי אבותינו, להודות להלל לשבח לפאר, לרומם להדר לברך ולקבץ. על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי עבדך משבטך, ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו.
שיר שחל זו ברכות בהודות נעתה ביד
ברכות בהודות נעתה ביד אברהם. ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך ותשבחות, אל הודאות אדון הנפלאות, הבחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אל חיי העולמים. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
עמד יבקרתי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ומכון וחדכו בית ישראל. בגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן.
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולם.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולם. ההלמיה יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר בתמם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמו לקדושה בריחו. לעולם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דמיון בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני יוצר אור וברוך חושך, עושה שם מברך הכל.
הכל ידוך.
הכל ידוך והכל ישבח לך, והכל ימון קדוש כאדוני. אין תלכנו בעולם הזה, ואין זולת מלכנו לפני העולם הבא. אפס פתחה גאולנו למות המשיח, והן דומה לך משיענו לתחיית המתים. אדון על כל המעשים, ברוך ומבורך לפי כל נשמה, ברוך וטובו מלא עולם, תחת ותבונה סביבותו. המתגאה על חיות הקודש, ונהדר בכבוד, על המרכבה, זכות ומשול, לפני כיסו, חסד ורחמים מפני כבודו, טובים מאורות שברא אלוהינו, יצרם בדעת, בבינה ובהשכל, כוח וגבורה נתן בהם, להיות מושלים בקרב תבל. נביאים זיו מפיקים נבותם, מעזיבם בכל העולם. זניחים בצאתם, וששים בפועל, רוצים תהי ברצון כל בכבוד, נותנים לי לשמור, חלה ורינה בספר מלכותו, קרא לשמש ויזרח אור, ראה והתקין צורת הבנה, שבע נותנים פה, כל צבא Maharu Tiferet Ugetula Seraphim Ve'orphanim V'chayot HaKodesh V'her Asher Shabbat Mikol HaMa'asim
Tiferet Adonai, Mizmor Shir Shabbat Tov L'Adonai. We sing songs on Shabbat because it's good to praise God. Page 110.
Kuvan hovim, kuvan dorim, kuvan giborim, chosim b'ma'av v'ratzon konam, kuvan b'chem b'bhem b'ktishav Torah b'shira v'zimra, v'rachim shavrim farim, maritzim makdishim u'ma'amlichim. Et Shem el-Melech HaGadol Gibor v'Norah, Kadoshu. Kuvan מקבלים עליהם ומכל שם זה מזה, ונותנים שצלת זה, להקדיש ליוצם נחת רוח בשפה ובנימה הקדושה כולם כאחד, עונים ואומרים ביראה. קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ כבודו. ופני בפיות הקודש, בפרש קודום נצים למצרפים, למתם שלחים ואומרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ועל ברוך נימות ייתן. Or Chadash al Zion Tahir, Or Chadash al Zion Tahir, V'nizkeh kuvanu mehera lehoro, Mehera lehoro, Baruch Adonai, Yoter HaMe'orot. Baruch Adonai. V'havinu l'shalom me'arba kanfot ha'aretz v'tolifenu kol mimihut v'artzenu ki helpo el Yeshuot ata uvanu v'acharta mikolam velashon v'kiravtanu l'shimcha hagadol Selah be'emet ehodot lecha u'yachercha b'yahava Baruch Adonai Avochem Yisrael b'yahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיודעת לפחות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. ויאמר אדוני המשל לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, עשו להם ציצית, על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף ותל תפארת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. יציב נכון קיים. כסדר קיים ושמו קיים, תפיסו נכון, נכותו ומנתו להד קיימת, דבריו חיים וקיימים, אמונים. נתשתו ונרנו אלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, גואלנו גואל אבותינו, יוצרנו צור ישועתנו, פרדנו מתנו מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך, עזרת אבותינו אתה הוא מעולם.
Page 114.
ולציון ברוך ומבורך, משה בני ישראל, לכנו שירה, בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. יהי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה, שירו גאולים, לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, ומה בעזרת ישראל, ותקומך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברך את אדוני בישראל. The silent Amida begins on page 115b.
you're still davening, please continue. Page 115b.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Elyon Omer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Sofer Chasdei Avot Umev Yigoel B'nei Bneihem L'man Shemo B'Yahava Melech Uzer Foked Mashiach Umag Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Foked Sarah Atah Gibor L'Olam Adonai Mechayem Et Yemot L'Hoshia Mashiach HaRuach Morid HaGashem Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayem Etim B'Rachamim Rabim Tzomech Noflim V'Rofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Mechamocha Ba'al Umido Melach Melech Nemit Mechayeh Matniach Yeshua Ne'eman Atalachayot Mitim Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh Hamitim. Kadesh et Shemcha ba'olam Kishem Shem HaKdishim Oto B'Shmei Marvom Kakatuv Hayad Hayad Nevi'echa V'kara Ze El Ze Le'olam
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו.
Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzevaot, Kol haaretz kevodo. Aktikov Rashtato Adir Chazak Mashmim Ko Mitnasim Lumatzerafim Lumatan Baruch Yom Eru.
ברוך
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
Baruch kavod Adonai b'nkomo, b'nkomocha malkeinu tofiha, v'ti'im l'chaleinu k'machakim, anachnu lach, mahatai t'imloch b'tzion, v'kaharon v'yameinu, ve'olam ba'ed tishbu. Titadav titkadash b'tach Yerushalayim v'echa, L'dor v'dor v'lenetzach netzachim.
ואלינו תהילה מלכותך ושירי עוזך משיח צדקך.
Hallelujah.
Elohim Elohai Tzion, Torvador, Hallelujah. The Torvador Nagid Vavlacha, Vanetach Nutzim Fishat Fanaktish, the Shikvacha Elohim Pinuyam Shlovlam Vaed, Ki Amal Korav Kadosh Ataba, Ataranai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Moshe Magnan Chako, Ki Eben Eman Pratalo, Kulio Tiferet Bershonatata Lo, Bamdam Har Sinai, Vishni Luchot Avenim Hurid Yataho, Faktivim Shimrat Shabbat, Vechen Katu V'Toratacha, V'Sham Eku V'nei Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, V'Asot Et HaShabbat, V'Dorotam V'Brit Olam, V'Hidim V'Bnei Yisrael, Oti Le'olam. Yisheshet Yamim Hasadonai Et Hashamayim V'et Haaretz Yom HaShavi'i Shabbat Vayinachash הרצות, נכון מקנה דבתי תקציבים, וגם תנוחתו לא ישכנו ערבים, כי בישראל עמך נתקל באהבה, לזרע יעקב אשר פעם בחרת. המקדשי שביעי, כולם יצאו ונדון לבך, ואשבי רצילו וקדשתו פנדת ימים התואו קראת, ספר מעשה בראשית. Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Retzeinu, Chatenu, Hachenu, V'mitzvotecha, V'ten Chokenu, V'toratecha, Sahabenu, V'tuvecha, V'samchenu, V'shruatecha, V'taher V'beinu, V'yovdecha, V'emet, V'hanchivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, be'ahavahu v'ratzon, shabat kodshecha, v'yanuchu v'Yisrael, mekadesh shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabat. أدنى يسرو بتهم بشر هبرا بتشفى بشكلهم ببركو برتون هدرتون تمير برا إسرائيل أمخا بتخزنا إني بشوف خالتيون برحمهم برفترنا هاي نقصش كناتو لتيون مودي منا نبا شتونا Ato kilu falo rapana karam sam kiram fasadaka nolam divinu laha. Bakulam itbrak tikram shkamal kinetam mirulam la'eher. B'chol chayim dufasalat v'ashim chabel meher. Ha'el yeshutun v'ezer hinusela baruch Adonai. Ato shim chalapana ele hodor. Elohinu v'levatinu v'rakinu v'chamash bashat v'trahafta adem shavdacha. Ha'amram bi'arnu v'na'ab konim amkir shafa ka'amur. Yibrachadonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er panav elecha b'yichunnecha.
Yirtzon.
Yisrael panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Yiratzon.
Sihim shalom Torah uvracha. Ein b'chesed v'rachamim. Ahalinu ve'ol Yisrael. Al kol Yisrael alecha. V'afinu atinu kulanu ke'echad. Kulanu ke'echad. Be'or panecha ki be'or panecha natata lanu. Adonai Eloheinu. Torat Chaim ve'avat chesed u'tzedakah u'beracha ve'rachamim ve'chayim ve'shalom ve'chayim ve'shalom ve'tov ve'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael ve'chofet u'v'chol shachar v'yishloho mecha. Baruch Adonai, Amrech Amon Yisrael B'Shalom.
Amen.
We continue with the Kaddish Shalom on page 138. Yitkadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Amad V'Koteh Yisma Koteh V'Chayefon V'Mekon V'Chayefon Yisrael V'Klav Yisman Kari V'Imevru.
Amen. Yehesh merabah.
Yitbarach V'Yishtabach Yit'arv From Dinaseh V'Jar V'Yislev V'Talav Shmer Kudeshah Ve'evan Megobach V'Shatat Shvatav Nechmatat Amram V'Ama V'Imevru.
Amen.
Kosutam V'Tun V'Choyisra Kadam Avim Shmaya V'Imevru.
Amen.
Yehesh Namar Abamim Shmaya V'Chaim Avinu V'Choyisra V'Imevru.
Amen.
V'Oseh Shalom V'Imramav V'Yaseh Shalom Avinu V'Choyisra V'Imevru.
Amen.
Yasher Koach. We continue with the Torah service. page 139. I saw the Newman family on the call there. Let's see if there they are. And this is where the bar mitzvah energy usually would start kicking up, just, to keep you aware of what's happening in the service here. And here we go. But today, of course, there's no bar mitzvah. So we are blessed to have Shelley to lead us through the Torah service, page 139.
Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, v'ein k'ma'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai malach, Adonai malach, Adonai yimlach, Le'olam va'ad, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Avad rachamim, etiv avirtzoncha et Zion. Tivnei Chanot Yerushalayim, Tivnei Chanot Yerushalayim, Ki vecha levad batachnu, Melech Aram v'Nisa, Adon Olamim. Turn to page 140. Be'ana rachetz, v'lishmei kadisha, kadisha yakira, ana emor tushbechan, be'ana rachetz, be'ana rachetz, v'lishmei kadisha, kadisha yakira, ana emor tushbechan, yehi rabba kadama, Detivta libi v'oraita, v'tashlin mishalim delibi, v'liba dechol ha'mak Yisrael, l'tovu chayin v'lislan. Amen.
And Yasher Kochach, beautiful. Friends, we're going to begin our Torah reading. And so we'll call everybody up to the Torah, and we will all say our bracha, La'asok b'divrei Torah. Here we go. Vayazor, v'yagin, v'yoshia, l'cha chasimbo v'nomar, Amen. Hakol, havagoda lanu to Torah, ya'amdu kulanu, baruch shatatra l'mo Yisrael b'tu shato. Timad vikim Eloichem, Chaim Kochem Hayom. Here we go. Baruch Ata Adonai
Eloheinu melech
haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav la'asok b'divrei Torah. All right, so we sang the bracha la'asok b'divrei Torah because during this pandemic Zoom era that we're living through, we don't have access to our Torah scroll in the context of this holy minyan. Yeah, we do have it, we can come in and visit it and take care of it and maintain it. But since it's not here in our holy minyan, where it should be, so we're going to resist from saying the Birkat Torah and say Lasok b'divrei Torah, and we're going to say the bracha Lasok b'divrei Torah. So why do we do that? So now we have to grapple with the Torah. And so luckily we have a parsha ripe for grappling. And so we're going to take a look at our Torah text. page 206, Parshat Vayishlach. You know, there's lots of different stories in Parshat Vayishlach. We've got Esav and Yaakov embracing. We've got the wrestling with the angel, and we've got this Dinah story. Right? And so the Dinah story that we're going to read today is one of the more controversial, difficult, painful texts that we have in our Torah, and it pits two values against each other. Yeah. So what are the values that we're going to see conflicting against each other? What's one value we're going to see through the story that the brothers are uplifting? Right, protecting their sister, right? The honor, protecting the honor of their sister, right, is part of the story. Right? And so they're going to go after Shem because they're protecting the honor of her sister, right? Valiant effort. Are we all agreed? Protecting the honor of one's sister.
No, not agreed.
Wait, oh no. All right, so I'm going to take a rabbinic license and just we'll handle that objection a little bit later. But for now, we're going to see how this tension plays out in the story of Dinah. And at the end, I just want to note that it doesn't really end conclusively. The story isn't going to end conclusively. How does it end? It's so just let's go to the ending and then we'll read the beginning. We're going to let them treat our sister like a zonah, right? That's how it ends, right? That's a question mark, right? You know, so it's gesturing towards a conclusion, maybe, but we don't hear Yaakov's response. What's Yaakov's contention? You're out of control. You're being too violent. We need shalom bayit, right? That's his issue, right? So we have this conflict that we're going to try to resolve. Ends in a question mark, and so we'll have to figure it out for ourselves. Here we go, page 206. We begin with the first Aliyah. Martin, Bakasha.
ותצא דינה בת לאה אשר ילדה ליעקב לראות בבנות הארץ ויראה שכם בן חמור אחיו נשיא הארץ ויקח אותה וישכב אותה וינחה ותדבק נפשו בדינה בת יעקב ויאהב הנערה וידבר על לב הנערה ויאמר שכם אל חמור אביו לאמור קח לי את הילדה הזאת לאישה.
Yesher koach, yesher koach. We continue with the second Aliyah, verse 5. Nancy.
V'Yaakov shama ki timei et Dinah bito uvanav hayu et miknehu basada v'hecherish Yaakov ad boam vayetze chamor avishachem el Yaakov ledaber ito uvnei Yaakov ba'u min hasada keshomam vayitatzavu ha'anashim Vayichar lahem meod ki nevala asa b'Yisrael lishkavet beit Yaakov v'chein lo ye'aseh vayidaber chamor itam lemor shechem beni chashakah hanafsho b'vitchem Tenu laha otaha loho leisha vehitchatnu otanu uvenotechem titnu lanu ve'et benotenu tikhu lachem ve'itanu teshevu ve'haaretz tihiyah lifnechem shuvu Usacharuha ve'he'achazuhu baha vayahomer shechem ואל אביך ואל אחיך, אמסכן בעיניכם. באשר תאמרו אלי אתן, הרבו עלי מאוד מהר ומתן, ואתנה כאשר תאמרו אלי, ותנו לי את הנערה לאישה.
Asher kochech. Our third Aliyah, Andy.
ויענו בני יעקב את שכם ואת חמר אביו במרמה וידברו אשר טימא את דינה אחותם ויאמרו עליהם לא נוכל לעשות הדבר הזה לתת את אחותנו לאיש אשר לא ארלה כי חרפה היא לנו, אך בזאת נאות לכם, אם תהיו כמונו, להימול לכם כל זכר. ונתנו את בנותינו לכם, ואת בנותיכם ניקח לנו, וישבנו איתכם, והיינו לעם אחד, ואם לא תשמעו עלינו להימול, ולקחנו את ביתנו והלכנו.
All right, so he says, tell you what, let's just merge our two clans together, and then we'll have a nice big merged clan, right? So, all right, we could have been Jews, Shem Jews or something. Okay, but didn't work out. Let's continue. Page 18, verse 18. Mitch Lucan.
ויטבו דבריהם בעיני חמור ובעיני שכם בן חמור. ולא איחר הנער לעשות הדבר, כי חפץ בבת יעקב, והוא נכבד מכל בית אביו. ויבוא חמור ושכם בנו אל שער עירם, וידברו אל אנשי עירם לאמור, האנשים האלה שלמים הם איתנו, וישבו בארץ ויסחרו אותה, והארץ הנה רחבת ידיים לפניהם, את בנותם ניקח לנו לנשים, את בנותינו ניתן להם, אך בזאת יאותו לנו האנשים לשבת איתנו, להיות לעם אחד, וימול לנו כל זכר, כאשר הם נימולים, מקניהם בקניינם, וכל בהמתם, הלא לנו הם, אך נאותה להם, וישבו איתנו.
Before we move on, Gail, you'll be next. But before we move on, so you can now see the left-hand side of the page. You can see where we're going. You can see the ending. What? You're supposed to just sit here while they make zonah out of our sister? So the exercise, if you'll bear with me, the exercise will be, what would Jacob say back? It doesn't say what he said back. Maybe he walked away, they won the argument, whatever it was. What would he say back? What's his argument, right? Let's see if we can articulate how Jacob would respond to that challenge. All right, good. Let's move further. Gail, 24.
וישמעו אל חמור ואל שכם בנו כל יוצאי שערו, וימולאו כל זכר כל יוצאי שערו, ויהי ביום השלישי באותם כואבים יקחו שני בני יעקב שמעון ולוי אחי דינה איש חרבו ויבואו על העיר בטח ויהרגו כל זכר ואת חמור ואת שכם בנו הרגו לפי חרב ויקחו את דינה מבית שכם ויצאו בני יעקב באו על החללים ויבוזו העיר אשר טימאו אחותם את צאנם ואת בקרם ואת חמוריהם ואת אשר בעיר ואת אשר בשדה לקחו ואת כל חילם ואת כל טפם ואת נשיהם שבו ויבוזו ואת כל אשר בבית ויאמר יעקב אל שמעון ואל לוי אחרתם אותי להבישני ביושב הארץ בכנעני ובפריזי ואני מתי מספר ונאספו עלי והיכוני ונשמדתי אני ביתי ויאמרו החסונה יעשה את אחותינו.
Before we move on, just a quick pause, and then we'll come back to this exercise, right? Just I want to strengthen the exercise a little bit, which is to say, right, so they're making a point here, right? So they're making a rhetorical point, right? So it's a rhetorical question, right? They're asking, what? Should our sister be treated like a whore, right? So let's just spell out their rhetorical point and frame it not as a question, but as a statement. Andy, can you help me do that? Andy and I have been working on discourse, issues of discourse. So let's see if we can flip it from a rhetorical question to a straightforward statement, right? So the rhetorical question is, should our sister be treated like a whore? What are they really saying? What's their position?
What their position is, they're trying to justify their behavior, slaughtering everybody in the city with the excuse that the people of the city raped their sister, when most likely that's a false story.
Don't
go there. I know you've got a plan.
so say. Spell out the position that they're taking.
They're taking that they are justified in slaughtering the city because their sister was abused in some
Thank
fashion.
you. Period. Right. So let's not decide if that's right or wrong yet. But that's there. What's Jacob's position?
Jacob's has a number of positions. One is, you didn't ask me. Second is, I'm in charge and
not
why.
why. I'm not asking what's his motivation for the position. What is his position?
His position is he doesn't want to cause trouble, and beyond his position is he doesn't think his sons were in the right, and he just walks away from the situation.
So spell out their position, right? Their position. His position is, you were not justified.
You shouldn't have murdered the city.
You were not justified in doing what you did.
You're not justified for what you did.
Right. So there you go. So that's the argument, right? So now what's your position?
That's your argument.
No, I'm framing the argument. I'm not saying which one's right or which one's wrong. What's your position? What's your position?
My position is that it was completely unjustified.
So you're with Jacob.
I'm way beyond Jacob. I am even more opposed to what his sons did than even Jacob is.
How do you know how Jacob
walking away is insufficient?
Wait, Jacob might have felt stronger than you. How do you know how Jacob felt?
Because there's no report of anything he did about it except leave town.
He might have been burning inside, right? He might have been really upset, like you are. So why are you upset?
I'm upset because Dina was an adult woman and she acted to find a boyfriend, and the brothers misinterpreted intentionally the whole story, lied to the people of the city, and when they did what the brothers asked, they went in and murdered them.
Right.
Absolutely reprehensible behavior on the part of our supposedly revered ancestors.
And by the way, I think Jacob would agree.
Yeah.
Good.
I'd like to point out something, and that is that through all this goings on, Dina was living with Shechem. She never went home.
So what? Make your point.
She stayed with him.
Make your point. Yeah.
Was she prisoner though?
Hold on. Make your Martin. What's your point?
Doesn't say whether she was a prisoner or not, but the point is that it doesn't seem that she was that reluctant. Even at the beginning of the story, she went out to go and have a good time with her girlfriends and got herself into the situation. It seems like Dina is not totally
that's clear. Yeah, it's
blameless
clear
in the situation.
That's clear from the text. I think the text gesture.
She went out to find a boyfriend.
Right. That's what the text says. Yeah.
Hey, there's another thing about Jacob. I mean, Jacob is all concerned about himself. He says, "You have brought trouble on me, making me odious among the inhabitants of the land." He only cares about himself. I don't think he really cares.
He's responsible for the whole family, so like he's got a lot on his head. Like, so you can give him, I hear you, but still.
Okay, I've got to speak up for Dina. I'm sorry.
Please, yeah, Shelley.
My goodness is about to would go over. It wasn't Shabbat and go to Martin. Okay, yes, she was in the house. What power do you think a young woman would have in that time? She didn't have.
Oh my.
She was deflowered. Okay, she was not a virgin anymore. So she was basically untouchable almost, except for the guy that had done the dirty deed. And so she didn't have a choice whether to just go home with her brothers because they thought of her as a whore. Yeah. Thank you very much, ladies. Can I get a woo?
Yeah, woot woot.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's take a quick time out. Let's take a quick time out. Right. So the time out I want to take is how quickly this went from an intellectual exercise to a emotional issue. But the point I want to make here is that the Torah leaves it open at the end of the story with a rhetorical question, right? And so it's up to us to figure out what the true message is in the Torah. And guess what? I think it's actually variegated. I think there's actually multiple values and lessons we can learn from this, depending on where we sit, depending on who we are, depending on our life experience. And but for now, let's continue in the Torah, and we'll come back to this question. Thank you, Shelley. I appreciate that. Page 35, verse 35. Al Fiveson.
Yeah. Before I start, I just want to say one more thing. So God tells Jacob to get out of here before these people get you. And then with God's help, all the people have the wool thrown over their eyes, figuratively, so to speak. So they're unable to pursue them. So God is actually helping Jacob escape from all these deeds. And to me, that doesn't sit right either. So that kind of disturbs me, just to say that.
Al, before you read, what page are you on in the Chumash? I've lost it.
Page 211.
211.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Vayomer Elohim El Yaakov Kum Allah Beitel V'Shev Sham V'Asei Sham Mizbeach Ba'el Hanarei Elecha B'Varchacha B'Pnei Esav Achicha Vayomer Yaakov El Beito V'El Kol Asher Imo Hasiru Et Elohei Anechar Asher B'Tochacham V'Hitaharu V'Hachalifu Simotechem V'Naku V'Naleh Beit El V'Sasham Mizbeach La'el Onel Tibiyom Tzarati V'Yihim Adi B'Derech Asher Alachti V'Yitnu El Yaakov Et Kol Hein Echar Asher B'Yadam V'Yatan Zamim Asher B'Oznehem V'Yitmon Otam Yaakov Tachata Elah Asher Im Shechem V'Yisa'u V'Yi Chitat Elohim Al Harim Asher Svivo Tehem Lo Narfu Acharei B'nei Yaakov V'Yavo Yaakov Luzah Asher be'eretz Canaan, he Beit El, hu v'kol ha'am asher imo. Vayiven sham mizbeach, v'yikra l'makom El Beit El. Ki sham niglu elav Elohim, v'varcho l'pnei achiv. V'tamot dvorah v'yeked Rivka, v'tikaver. V'tachat Beit El, tachat alon, v'yikra Shimon alon l'chut. Vayar Elohim El Yaakov v'va'om v'padan Aram v'yavarach oto. Vayomer lo Elohim Shemcha Yaakov lo Yakareh Shemcha od Yaakov ki im Yisrael yiyashemecha v'yakray Shemo Yisrael. Vayomer lo Elohim Ani El Shaddai, Perei Urvei Goy, Ukahal Goyim Yemimecha, Umachim Eklatzecha Yetzeu.
Sure. So with your permission, so Shelley, I want to strengthen your point here, which is that well, actually strengthening my point, but through your point. But it's my point is that Torah is purposefully pushing our buttons. It's purposefully pushing our buttons to get us into this conversation. So Martin, flip back to page 206. Would you read the commentary on "Went Out" from the Eitz Chaim?
206. Went out. Girls of marriageable age normally would not leave a rural encampment to venture alone into an alien city. The narrative subtly criticizes Dinah's highly unconventional behavior through its use of the Hebrew stem meaning to go out. This has been interpreted by some medieval and modern commentators as a reference to some coquettish or promiscuous conduct.
I just want to be clear, it wasn't your idea. It was some interpreters have already preceded you in your assumption.
I am not saying, though, that because she went out and did whatever she did, that justifies anybody raping her.
I understand that. So what are you saying, though? So you
I'm
have
just saying that she is not, she's an actor in this because she went out. However, the rest of the story, her feelings, her position completely disappear from the story. Nobody cares at all.
Right. Very sad. Yeah, very sad. Yeah, Suzanne?
Rabbi?
Yeah, Leslie?
And also the fact that she's the only girl in the family. So the brothers would have been very protective of her.
Oh, yeah, that's the push. That's the button we're pushing. She's the baby sister of the manly brothers. Yeah.
Out in the world and had really no knowledge about it. So this interpretation about being coquettish or promiscuous, she was looking for friends. She didn't know from this. And of course, you're right. There is no excuse for raping her, no matter what.
Right. Yes.
And,
we all agree with that. Yeah.
There was no rape.
Never having been through that experience.
Anus. What's anus? Yeah, well, hold on. Let's
no rape.
Let's Leslie finish, then we'll come back to that.
I think that's important. I'm all for Dina's being cared about, and the fact, yes, that you don't hear about any of her feelings about everything that goes on, and that her brothers grab her and take her away after killing everyone, all the men.
It's a horrible story. It's a horrible story. We can agree with all of that too.
To respond to Andy about there was no rape, so the word honest, which is rape, is not used, but the word used is ya'aneha.
Ya'aneha.
So I don't know.
Andy, what's your interpretation? Yeah.
She went out to find a boyfriend. She seduced the prince of the city.
Oy, oy, oy.
And if the thing that was unconventional is that she hooked up with him without her father's permission. That is, in that culture, the sin, if there's a sin.
All right. So you're
without her father's permission, probably because having grown up in a household with 12 brothers and a father who cheated on all his relatives, she didn't trust her father to make a good match for her, and she went and took matters into her own hand.
Right, so
she was a very modern woman, despite the era, and she was an independent actor, and the crime is that her brother took advantage of this to slaughter the city and steal all the goodies.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, good. So that's a read on the
Rabbi,
on
sorry.
the parsha that we don't all agree with, but that's okay. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Rabbi,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna try before I unmuted myself. I read something yesterday in a commentary that this is a particular story that is not usually taught to
correct.
kids when
Yeah.
they're learning. And that made
Why?
me think, because so many people don't go beyond this, there may actually be people who are not aware of this story. And when they find it, it's very strange, doesn't fit in with the way we are taught. And I just think that that's very interesting.
Yeah.
A way of kind of manipulating us.
It's so you're a little disturbed by the fact that that we don't give the various sections and stories of the Torah equal weight, right? And that's interesting. Yeah, the rabbis have pulled through the Torah and chosen the most effective or easiest maybe way of communicating Jewish values, and this one's tricky, right? This one's complicated.
This one's very, very complicated.
Yeah, and so I just want to, we're just the tip of the iceberg today as we move on in our Torah reading. Micah, you ready? Verse 12. What page are we on? Yeah.
Page 213.
Rabbi, before we do that, can I make one comment
Sure.
about the language of the text?
Please.
The language of the text is very emotionally laden.
That's right.
And the Shechem, Hashkaba, I mean, that's, he desired her, Vaye'eneha, or she was, that's the same word we use for Yom Kippur. So there is a very emotionally laden text here. And I think that goes to your point that the Torah wants us to think about.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Thank you. All right, Micah, thank you.
V'ha'aretz asher natati la'Abraham u'litzchak lecha et nena u'lizarcha echarecha aten et ha'aretz v'yal me'elav Elohim b'makom asher dibir ito v'yetze Yaakov mitzeva b'makom asher dibir ito mitzevet aven v'yisef aleha netzach v'yitzok aleha shamen Vayikra Yaakov et Shem Hamakom Asher Diber Ito Shem Elohim Beitel.
Yesher koach, Yesher koach. Mishaberach Avotun Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Saref Kach Havliya Uyivarech et Kol HaKruim Vet Kol HaBaalei Kriya Asher Alu Hayam Lichvot HaMakam Lichvot HaTorah Lichvot HaShabbat HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishmor Otam V'Kol Mishpachotam V'Yishlach Bracha V'Tzlacha B'Chol Ma'aseh Yedehem Mikor Yisrael Eloheichem V'Nomar Amen.
Amen.
Mishaberach Avotun Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Havliya Uyivarech V'Yirapeh et Kol HaCholim.
Pinchas ben Sarah.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimele Rachmim Alhem Lachzikam V'Rapotam V'Yishlachem Me'er Rosh Min HaShamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'toch Sha'el Mo Yisrael Shabbat Yimil Zoker V'Kol Lavash Tazman Kariv V'Nomar Amen. Yitgadal V'Yitgadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divra Kirute V'Mlich Malchute B'Chayichon V'Milchanam Chayachol Beit Yisrael B'Galat V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen.
Amen. Yeheshme Rabam V'Rachma
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar b'tramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei l'kudesh brichu le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechamata damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. It's now time for the Haftarah. Shelley, you ready for that? Tell us what page we're on and all that. Do you have it? Are you in the?
We're on page 140. Well, oh, I'm sorry. Prayers on 146, and the Haftarah starts Obadiah on page 222.
Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'dim tovim v'ratzah v'divrei ha'nemarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboker b'torah Moshe abdo u'Yisrael amo. Moving the
Hazan Ovadia Koamar Adonai Adonai Edom Shmua Shamanu Me'et Adonai V'tzir Bagoyim Shula V'tzir Bagoyim Shula Kumu V'nakuma Laha Lamilkama Hine Katan Netatika Bagoyim Bazu Atameod Vidon Lipra Hishiacha Shichni V'hag V'selamerom Shivato Omer Belibo Mi Yoridenu Aretz Im tag bia kana nasheg bang kokavim sim kana misham orid khane Adonai im ganavim balakaim shodei laila ek mit metam halo yignevu dayam Im betzorim balachalo yashiru alelot et nefeshu esav nivu mitkona adhanavu shilchucha kol anshe v'ritacha hishiucha yaklu lecha anshe shlamacha lachmecha Yashimu Azor Taktecha Ein Tevuna Bo Alo Bayom Hahunu Adonai V'havadti Hachamim Edom Udbuna Metar Esav V'chatu Geborecha Teman Leban Yikareis Mecha haresav mikatel, mecha mis, achika Yaakov techas chavusha, vanikrata leolam, beyom amadcha minaged, beyom shivot zarim hechelo, ben achrim, ba'osheram, Yerushalayim Yadu Gora, Kamata Keachad Mecham, Ve'altere Ve'yom Achicha Ve'yom Nachru, Ve'atishma Livnei Adonai Ve'yom Avam, Ve'atagdel Picha Ve'yom Sarah, Al tavo v'sha'arami b'yom edam, al terek amatam, v'rato b'yom edo, v'al tishlachna b'chelo b'yom edo, v'al tamod al haperek, l'chakrit et pelishta, v'al tasker srida b'yom sarah, Kikarov Yom Adonai O Kol HaGoyim Kasher Asita Yasela Gemucha Yashu Beroshecha Ki Kasher Stitem Achar Koshi Ishto Kol HaGoyim Tamid V'shatu v'lahu V'hayu kelo hayu Uchar Tzion Pleta V'haya Kodesh V'yarshu Beit Yaakov Et Moroshehem V'haya Beit Yaakov Ash Uveit Yosef Lehava Uveit Esav Lekash Didaku Bavahem Yachalu Velo Yesari Levete Sav Ki Adonai Diber Vayarshu HaNegev Ehaisa, Ehashpelai Plishtim, Viarshu, Etzadei Ephraim, Vietzadei Shomron, Ubinyamin et Hagilad, Vigalu Hachel Hazah, Livnei Yisrael Asher Kenaanim Ad Sarafim, Ben Begalet Yerushalayim Asher Bisparat Yirshu Et Aref HaNegev Ve'alu Moshim B'char Tzion Lishpot Et Harisav V'haital Adonai Amlecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol amim tzaddik b'chol hadarot ha'olam ne'eman ha'omer v'yosem daber v'kayim shekol devarav emet v'tzedek ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'ne'emanim devarecha v'devar echad midvarecha akor lo yashuv rekam ki hamelech ne'eman rakaman atah Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ne'eman b'chol devarav. Rachem al Tzion ki beit hayenu, v'lalu bat nefesh Toshia b'mhera b'yameinu. Baruch atah Adonai, v'sameach Tzion b'vanecha. Sakeinu Adonai Eloheinu b'eliyahu hanavi avdecha, u'machot beit David meshikecha. B'mehera yavo v'yagel libenu, hakisa lo yeshev zar, v'lo yimchalu od acherim et kevodo, ki b'shem kodshecha nishbata lo, shelo yifnei ra le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen David, ha'torah v'al avodah l'olim, hayom ha'shabbat hazeh. Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu l'kedusha v'limnucha l'chavod u'tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mbarkim otach yiparashim chai b'fnei kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Yasher kochach. Beautiful. Friends, we're going to close the Torah service in just a moment with Eitz Chaim. Ki lekach tov natati lachem. God says, I gave you a very good thing. Torati al tazovu. Don't lose sight of it. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba. It's a Eitz Chaim. It's a ever. Help me out, where Eliezer. It's an ever-flowering tree. Eitz Chaim hi. It's an ever-living tree. It's not very poetic, though. It's an ever-blossoming tree.
Tree of life is good enough.
Fine. Well, but it says it says why, because oh no, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Eliezer. It says why later. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba. It's a tree of life for all those who hold on to it. V'tomchea meushar. Its ways are meushar, very pleasant, right? Which is different than we read this morning, is it not? Right? We didn't read anything pleasant, did we? So here we go. So deracheha derechei noam. Its ways are ways of pleasantness. V'chol netivotea shalom, and all of its branches, wherever you take it, leads to peace. Maybe it's not talking about the content. Maybe it's talking about the conversation. Right? We need to learn how to talk about these things in a peaceful way. Take us back to when that was a possibility. May we restore the sacred virtue of debate and conversation in a way that brings us towards more understanding and clarity rather than disruption. And rather than that'll work. We continue now with Eitz Chaim. Shelley.
Eitz Chaim hi lamakazikim ba v'torah
Kochech. Ken Alvin will lead us through the Musaf, page 155.
יתגדל שמי רבה.
אמן.
ויאמר דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכונו ויומכונו כידוע בישראל. בעגלה ובדן קריב ימרו. יהי שמירה במברך לעולם עולם יומיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו ניאלה מנחה ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירת ימיו ימרו אמן. 156b. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Hoel Agadol Agibor V'Anora El Hayom Ego Melech Hatzadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avor U'Mevi Goel Livnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yava Melech Ozer Fokir Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magin Abraham ufokit Sarah Atah gibor le'olam Adonai Mechaye metim atarav lehoshia Mashiva ruach morira gashem Mekakel chayim bechesed Mechaye metim berachamim rabim Tomek noflim berofei cholim Umatir asurim Umekayim emunato lishenei apar Michamocha bar givuror Umido melach Melech mimir umechayeh Umatmiach Yeshua v'ne'emanata l'chayot mekim baruch atah Adonai michayeh ametim.
Amen. Haritzavrak Yishak Yisatzia Sefer Kodesh Shemit Kodesh Kakadu V'Yaniviacha V'Karzel Zevi Amar
Na'iseka v'na'gishecha Kesotiach sarfei kodesh Hamakdishim shimeka b'kodesh Hakatu ayad nevi'echa Nikara zelzel yamar
Kadosh Kadosh Kadosh
Kadosh Adonai Tov Melech kol haaretz kivodo
Baruch Melech Mishpash Zazayeh Mekom Kavadol Yom Atam Baruch Yameru
Kivodo male male olam mayim mekom kivodo Kivodo male male olam mayim mekom kivodo Kivodo male olam Mishar kav shoalim zela ze aye mekom kivodo Mishar kav shoalim zela ze aye mekom kivodo לאומתם ברוך יאמרו,
ברוך אדוני
יבוא אדוני ממקומו.
במקום אוהבים ברחמים ויחונים אחדים שמוע רבבו כיום תמיד פעמיים בבא שמע אומרים.
ממקומו יפן ברחמים ויחונם עמם יחדים שמו ערב הבוקר בכל יום תמיד המים ביעבר שמע אומרים.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
אלוהינו אבינו מלכנו מושיענו ישמענו ברחמיו שניתן לכל חי להיות לכם לאלוהים.
הוא אלוהינו אבינו הוא מלכנו מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו שנית לעיני כל חי להיות לכם לאלוהים.
אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
ודברי קודשך כתוב לאמור,
ימלוך
אדוני אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיגות לך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Prayer for peace.
עושה שלום במרומה והוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום
Shalom Aleinu v'Yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'Yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'Yakol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'Yakol Yisrael. V'yimeru. Amen. Kaddish Aleim 181. Yitkara v'yikara shemei rabba, men biyom adivra kirutei v'yamlich malkutei v'chayechon v'yimechon v'chayerecho beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman karev v'yimeru.
Amen. Yeshmei Rabba v'Yivach, Ya'alam u'le'amaya yitbarach. Yitbarak, v'yishtabak, v'yitbar, v'yitroma, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yidalal, shmer kurisha, b'rechu, mi'ela minko, birchata v'shirata, tivgata v'nechmata, damiran bi'alama v'yimeru. Amen.
Titkabat ziloron v'audhon decho Yisrael, kodam avahon v'shmeya v'yimeru.
Amen.
Yesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimeru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimeru.
Amen.
Oh, in a moment, we're going to Enkilohenu, and we'll be inviting Brady to lead us in Enkilohenu. What's the story there, Ken Levine? When's the bar mitzvah? What's happening?
I'm not sure what the question is, but Brady's been preparing for a while. We've been, he's going to have his bar mitzvah, and I think it's 2 weeks.
That's the question. Yeah.
Yes, 2 weeks from now, and he's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Really
So he's here to like spread his wings a little bit and practice. And
sometimes we have the kids do the kiddush. Sometimes we have them participate in advance. It's good presence. It's a good comfort, so that the bar mitzvah is a little less threatening.
There you go. Thank you. And so Brady, so you're ready to go. 182 Enkilohenu. Unmute.
Enkilohenu, Enkadonenu, Enkemalkenu, Enkmoshienu, Mi Elohenu, Mi Hadonenu, Mi Hamalkenu, Mi Hamoshienu. Nodel Elohenu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkenu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Elohenu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Mashiach, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Mashiach, Atahu Shiktiru Avotenu, Lefaneha Ekatoret Hasamim.
All right, Alenu is on page 183. Go for it.
Alenu leshabeach ladon hakol mate gedula leotzer breshit shelo asanu kigoye haratzot velo samanu ki mishpachot hadama shelo sam halkenu kahem vegor alenu ki achol hamanam ve'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim Lifnei melech malchei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu noteh shamayim ve'yosef haaretz u'moshev yikaro b'shamayim yimal u'shlina tuzo begover meromim Hu Eloheinu einod emet malkeinu efet zulato Kakatu vetorato Vedaktayom Vehashavota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu Elohim בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, אין עוד.
We read to ourselves to the bottom of the page, and in a moment, Brady will pick up from Kakatu B'Toratacha. All right, ready when you are.
ונאמר בחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Yasher Koach, nicely done, Brady. We'll say the Mourner's Kaddish, and so I'll introduce the Mourner's Kaddish with some words, and you can relax for a minute. Yep. So we want to send our condolences to those who are in Shloshim for Shirley Katzen, Doris Gruskin, and Cecily Sherbel. We commemorate the following Yortzites: Julius Brockman, Annie Bloom Buck, Isidore Fried, Hyman Goldberg, Armand Grenadier, Avraham Iskowitz, Laurie Leventon, Nat Levy, Craig Magenheim, Harry Nadell, Lawrence Paul, Helene Ringer, Hyman Rolnick, Arnold Royal, Stephen Schwartz, Jerome Sherman, Rabbi Jerome Sherman, Cantor Samuel Herman Orbach, Edward Weidman, and Sarah Zlotnick. Mourner's Kaddish, and unmute for Mourner's Kaddish.
Yikadav, Yikadash, Shemei
Rabba. Amen.
Ma'amad Yirachirte, Yamlich Machutei. V'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayechon v'Yisrael. V'agala v'shkita v'yikrivu. Amen.
Amen. Yeheshmer Rabba.
Yibarak v'yistabak.
V'chomam v'aseh. Yetadav v'yitalel v'yital shmei kivita.
Brechot.
Le'elam nikol b'chata v'shkita. Tushbechata v'nechmata damiran v'avibru.
Amen.
Yehi shalom hara min shemayim.
Aleinu
v'al Israel v'ibru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom hara. Uyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Israel v'ibru.
Amen.
Amen.
One who makes peace above, breathe peace and comfort to us below, and together we say Amen. Just to put a full circle on things, I'll introduce Rhoda in just a moment. At the beginning of the service, before we got on, we were chatting about Kimberly DeBias, who is a friend of the shul living in Austin, and looking to enter rabbinical school. And so Lynn made a comment how wonderful it is that Bris Shalom births so many clergy, right? And we also, at the end of the service, as an envelope, we also paid our respects to clergy who have gone the way of all the world. Cantor Sam Urbach, Rabbi Jerome Sherman, and Rabbi Sam Karf. So there's, we were also paying tribute to clergy on the other end. Yeah, that way they still influence us in this world. And so may their memories continue to inspire us along the paths of life that we tread. Rhoda, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As always, thank you to Rabbi Teller, Cantor Levine for leading us, and to everyone who took part in services, particularly to Marcia Hurwitz, who davened Pazukei de Zimra for the first time, but I know it won't be the last time. Mazel tov, Marcia. And Brady, we'd really look forward to having you lead us in 2 weeks as you become a bar mitzvah. That would be a wonderful time. This evening, Havdalah will be led on Facebook Live at 6:15 by Rabbi Teller and Nava. Daily services continue at 9 on Zoom every morning, and in the evening on Facebook Live at 6:15. Tomorrow, Cantor Levine's class on anti-Semitism continues at 11 a.m. Also at 11, Shelley Nadell, after her leading us today in services, we'll be conducting a program for CBS Women, and it's open to everyone on thriving financially in a crisis. So I invite you to go to one of those programs. Zoom at Noon continues on Tuesday with another program from Yad Vashem. And of course, on Thursday evening is the first night of Hanukkah. I hope you will join us on Zoom, our whole community on Zoom, so we can celebrate the holiday every evening together. And there'll be a special program, a drive-through program in our parking lot a week from tomorrow, which will be the Sunday evening of Hanukkah. And you can find all the information about it on the Boker Tov. We've got lots going on as always. Also, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, a Shavua Tov, and a Chag Sameach, with my prayer that it will not be too long where we can begin to pray together in our own synagogue building. And again, Shavua Tov, everyone.
Shabbat Tov. We also have some birthdays to celebrate. Yes, Caroline, remind me about the birthdays.
So there's a number of people here with birthdays, but Joyce Garfinkel, Lou Geigerman, Amy is here today with Amy Halevi celebrating her birthday, Ben Patel, Lori Slater, Gail is also, I think I saw her, and Hi Warsha is also celebrating his birthday.
Thank you. We gave him a call yesterday. Haven't heard from him yet, but we pray for Hi's health as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mazal Tov to all the birthdays. Brady, my favorite moment was Shehuno Teshamayim. Nice job, man. That was fun. What's Ken Levine, if you'll conclude with Adon Olam?
Sure. Adon Olam Hashem Allah Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Nasav V'Cheto Kol Azay Melech Shemo Nikra Azay Melech Shemo Nikra V'Yacharei Kiklot HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora V'Hu Haya V'Hu Oveh V'Hu Yiyeh B'Tifara V'Hu Yiyeh B'Tifara V'Hu Echad V'Yein Sheni Lehamshir Lo Le'Akbira Beli Reshit Beli Taklit B'Lo Ha'oz Ve'Hamisra B'Lo Ha'oz Ve'Hamisra V'Hu Eli V'Chai Go'ali V'Tzor Chapi B'Yetzara V'Hu Nisi Oman Nosri Menat Kosi B'Yom Mekra Menat Kosi B'Yom Mekra B'Yado Akid Ruchi B'Yeti Shan B'Yaira Imruchi Gaviati Adonai Li V'Lo Ira Adonai Li V'Lo Ira. Kiddush. V'shamro v'nei Yisroel et ha-Shabbat l'asor et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamro v'nei Yisroel et ha-Shabbat l'asor et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום
Is he frozen for everybody? Vayina fa Shabbat, vayina fa Shabbat,
Vishamru b'nei Israel et Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כן ברכנה את שמה Shabbat vayikadshehu. Who's got some wine? Has anybody got any wine there? Oh, yeah. So Leslie, make the bracha. If you unmute. Leslie, unmute. Let's give us a Bopra Gafen. Yeah, unmute first though.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
All right.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam.
Borei Pri Hagofen.
Amen. 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 All right. We'll end with a priestly benediction. Martin Cohen, give us a priestly benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken Yehi
Ratzon.
Ve'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh lecha shalom.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi, please let me thank Mike Drobe for being our Gazumbai. It went right over my announcements, and thank you, Mike, especially because you were in California and you began this at 7:30 in the morning. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Say hi to the family.
Everybody's awake now.
For the boy, do
We
some
figured that.
do some like airplane and like throw them around a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Thank you, Mike, very much.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Mazel tov, Marsha.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Everyone who read did a wonderful job.
True.
Everyone did.
Miss you guys big time. I
so
miss
much.
my buds, man.
Yeah, same here.
No.
Can
That's
you
the fun of
imagine our
services
first
is
time
chatting
back?
with is getting caught up on everything. So
Thank you,
Can you imagine
Brady.
our first time back? We're gonna have to show up like an hour early because nobody's gonna pay attention to the service. We're all just gonna say hi for the first hour. So we're like,
exactly.
we're gonna have to schedule that appropriately, knowing that we're not gonna behave for the first bit.
We'll go to have lunch and then we'll come back and finish the service. How's that?
Have breakfast and then have the service.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shavua Tov.
Stay warm.
Brady, Shabbat Shalom, a beautiful job done by Brady Newman. Shabbat Shalom. Look forward to more in a couple of weeks. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Great job. Good job.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Thank you.
You're in good form, kid. We're gonna kidnap you and put you on the bimah often.
I
You
have
realize we do that, don't you? Okay, bye guys.
Just you, Lynn.
Okay, bye.
Bye.